Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we will understand the difference between all and all selected DAX in Power BI. This is actually one of the most confusing concepts in DAX, especially for beginners, is the difference between all and all selected. And this is not just a theoretical concept, it is very common interview question and also sometimes you will use frequently while building real dashboards. So in this video, we will understand what all does, what all selected does, the key difference between them, and the most important, when to use each with real example. So let's understand the core problem before jumping into the function. In Power BI, when you create visuals, filters automatically gets applied from slicers or page filters or especially visual filters. Let me show you that. For example, if I take product name in a visual, and if I apply the total sales based on the product name, then you will see that filters has been applied based on each product name. See, if I remove product name and use category, you will see there are four categories, and four categories the filter has been applied, and based on the filter context the total sales is showing for particular category. So this is the filters which has been applied, and this is called visual filters. So sometimes you want to ignore these filters from the report and calculate values independently. That's where functions like all and all selected filter functions come into play. So what is all actually? What does all do? The all functions remove all filters from the table or the column. It completely ignores any filter applied, whether from slicers, visuals, or page level. So, in simple meaning, I would say all is equal to ignore everything and show total data. So, let me show you by writing the DAX practically. So, I write a measure here. So, let's find total sales by category using all. Total sales category. So let me drag it here, select table visual, bring the category here. So now you can see both the visuals are table visuals, but in one visual the visual filter has been applied, and another visual we have nullify the visual filters using all decks. So if even if I apply filter from the outside, let me use the slicer as well. Here if I use the category slicer and the slicer I use, let's say country, right? This is country slicer. See, if I select book, so it will show book, but it will still not show the total sales for book only. If I select any country, so you can see here for each country, I mean for Algeria, the book's total sale is 9390, clothing is 76288, but in using all, it is showing the total sales in Algeria for these all categories. So this is the use of all, where you remove all the filters in the report in your dashboard, right? So this was one of the example. So what actually happens? Even if you select a specific category or apply filter, this measure will always return total sales across all products. It ignores all filters. So what is the use case of all in the actual real dashboard? So it is actually using for calculating the grand totals, because this is showing the grand total. It is removing all filters. So it is also used for percentage contribution, category versus total. If you want to compare category versus total, for example, here, so you can do that. If I add the this DAX here, so this is total and this is for particular category. So you can here calculate the contributions or benchmark comparisons, right? So let's come to the all selected function. So what is all selected function does? Sales by category using all selected, right? So this time we will use all selected in the category product category, right? So now I'm creating another visual for all selected. So are you surprised? As you can see, the all and all selected both are showing the same result. But what all selected does is actually it removes filter only from the visual. So that's why it has removed the visual filter and that's why it is showing the total. But it keeps filters from the slicers or any user selection. Let me show you. So if I select only electronics, so now it will show the electronics same, right? For furniture, so it will show for total for furniture and electronics. Let me show you in a one single visual. Let me add the all selected also in the same visual. So as you can see now, all and all selected are showing the same result because it removed the visual filter. But in all selected, it actually ignores the visual filter, but it keeps the filter from slicers. So if I choose a slicer filter from, if I choose a furniture from slicer filter, then it will show the same result correctly. But in the all, you will see it is still showing the total, the overall total sales. But now the all selected is showing for only for furniture because I have selected furniture here. If I select clothing here, then it will show the clothing and furniture both, right? If I select book here, then it will show the book. If I want to see for Australia's book sales, then there is no sale in Australia. Electronics, then it is showing the Australia's total sales in category electronics, right? But in total sales in all, it is showing for all the category in Australia, right? So this is actually the difference between the all and all selected. So the most important part is the key differences. All removes all the filters. It ignores slicers, visuals, everything. Always return full dataset total. And all selected removes only visual level filter, but it respects slicer and user selection filters. It returns total based on selected context. As I selected in slicer, the same way it will work. So in real business use case, let's say if you are building a report showing the top five products based on sales, then you apply a slicer for a year or filter for a region, and now you want ranking to be calculated only within the selected year and the region, not the entire dataset. In this case, you will use all selected because it will respect your user filters, right? If you use all, then ranking will ignore slicers and it will give you incorrect results. So guys, if you understand the difference between all and all selected and if you learned something today, then you can like this video and subscribe the channel.